The other side of fear, getting past your self-created limitations. Hello, everyone. I'm Tessa with the marketing team at IdeaPros, and I have two people today, your favorites, of course. So we have Cary, who is the CEO of IdeaPros, and then we have Alejandra. And can you pronounce your last name for me? I'm horrible with last names, or all names.
Torrente.
Torrente. Well, I didn't do too bad. I got the R. and you are actually you're executive office for IdeaPros, digital media manager. So you do all the obviously Instagram lives with Fred on all of them, but most of them. You're a very important part of our social media team at IdeaPros. But you also support Fred and keep him on track and behaving.
Definitely.
And we love having you on today. We're going to talk about this subject of fear and really that you're putting your own limitations on when you're ready to grow. It might be something that you're afraid of doing. And we have a special treat for you guys a little later. That was Allie overcoming one of her big fears too. So Fred, do you want to start us out with a little bit about fear and what it does in your business too? And personally?
Yeah. And shortly we'll be showing something that is pretty incredible. But the biggest blocker that we have is self-created. And it's a fear of anything, really. When you're becoming an entrepreneur and you're leaving a job that you've had good pay and raises and good benefits, and you want to go and start something new, and you're willing to give all of that up, there's a fear that keeps that from happening for months, for years even, and sometimes it doesn't ever happen at all. On top of that, once you get going with your programs and you become an entrepreneur and you're trying to break down barriers, a lot of times that fear enters again to keep you from trying again when you fail, or keep you from working harder when it's not quite there. And that self-induced fear is really the thing that separates winning from losing. And so knowing that you have the wins and losses in your own pocket, created by you, that shows how important it is to be able to eliminate those fears, so you, excuse me, so that you can reach your full potential.
Yes, life does begin at the other side of fear.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we should show that now.
Sure.
This was just yesterday. Alejandra, and we can talk about this afterwards, but Alejandra's had a fear for quite some time that I share with her. And she went yesterday and tackled that fear.
Whoa. Okay, I'll make it live for you guys.
So nice, it must be illegal. So take it easy, I'll tell you about it.
You jumped out of a plane.
I jumped out of a plane. Honestly, I would have never thought I was going to do that. But last week I woke up and I just decided to get out of my comfort zone and try something different, something that I was scared of. And yeah, I just jumped up yesterday. It was amazing. Yes, I was a little scared, even if I said I was not. But yes, as I started going up, I realized that, that's life. That's life, just trying new stuff, getting out of your comfort zone. Then when I jumped, it was amazing. I felt the most alive I've ever felt. So if you guys are ever thinking of doing it, I would strongly recommend at least just once. It makes you feel some type of way, just alive, just an incredible sensation. It only lasts like 10 minutes from the free fall to the ground. So I strongly encourage you guys to try it and send me your videos. Tess, I know you've already done it. Tell us about your experience.
Yes. So I think that I was in the same boat. I'm going to do this. I had a list, your bucket list, and I was checking off items, one of which was skydiving. And so when I actually went, you mentioned that like when you're going up and you're a little afraid, they didn't have a door on the one when I went up. So as you're taking off, everything's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm the one right by the door and the first one out of the plane. And so I was petrified. Like I could remember thinking, I am going to die. I'm going to die. But when you get up there and then they just kind of rush you out, so you don't really have to think about it, right? There's like, let's go, we're going. But I remember that it went by so quick. It was like the adrenaline rush and everything. But I think that's a lot of what happens when you're trying to do things that are scary. You're going to get that adrenaline rush and it's scary and you feel like it's fear anyway, even during it. But sometimes that same chemical reaction in your body that is fear is also excitement. So what hormones and everything the chemicals are being released are the same. So I keep telling myself, like, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. And you said that too. It's that feeling of that rush. If you just think of it a little differently when you're in the middle of it, then you can kind of trick yourself into thinking like, I'm not going to die. I'm just super excited for change. Or a different perspective of view. And now looking back, I'm like, I would totally do it again in a different place so I could actually see it because I was so blinded by the fear.
It happens to us a lot in life, right? As well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what you said, Tessa, about turning that into excitement. That is the one thing that you can do with that adrenaline that's coming at you when you're fearful of taking that next step. Is turning that into excitement. The adrenaline is there for a reason. Use it for your good rather than using it to keep you from doing things.
I agree.
And so it's going to happen to all of us. It has happened to everybody watching for sure. And it's going to continue to happen to us as we go through our careers, we go through our lives. There'll be a lot of points where we don't know if we can cross that threshold. We don't know if when we try something, it's going to be successful. But approach with excitement, approach with the knowledge that you can do it. And it's a question of just trying harder, not giving up, and facing those fears to get past them. Because, as we said, on the other side of fear, that's where your life begins. That's where your company is going to begin. That's where the process of growing and building is going to take place. Once you've developed that foundation of accepting fear and turning it into excitement and using it for yourself, then you can go a lot further than you thought you could go.
Yes, I agree. And always knowing that fear is going to be there, but just allow yourself to feel that fear. Yesterday, when I felt that fear about to jump off, that's what made me feel alive. Like, whoa, like I have fear, but I'm alive. Like, so just not seeing it in a negative way, but instead just grow from it, embrace it, and just get on the other side.
Yeah. And so there's some tools that you can use when you're building out your business or when you're trying to make a decision to go ahead and leave your job and do something new. But some of these physical things are things that can get you in the right mode to be able to do that. So there's a connection between jumping out of an airplane and starting a new business, or riding a race car on a weekend and then building out your organization to another level, because those things allow you to get myopically focused on the moment because you're so into it. I'm sure that you and Tessa, when you jumped, you weren't thinking about anything else in the world, weren't thinking about rent or mortgage or car payments.
Nothing. I forgot about the world.
Right. Become so focused with that physical event that that's all that matters. And you can do the same thing business-wise by taking that same sort of fear factor and honing in on what it is that you're fearful about and turn it into this excitement of actually being there, doing it, doing whatever you need to do to move forward. In fact, most of the fear takes place ahead of time, right? When you're leading up to the event. And when you're at the event and it's happening, a lot of that fear is already dissipated, maybe until they push you out the side of the plane. But you know, it's this anticipation ahead of time that creates this turmoil and this inability to move forward. And so when you're feeling these things before you act, realize the sooner you can get to the action part of it, the sooner that fear is going to go away and be replaced with the excitement that you need to move forward.
Yeah.
I love it. And there's a couple things, really good things that you had in there. So I'm just going to go back to those. You mentioned, doing it, just do it. And I know there's a quote from, I think it's Michael Jordan, that's, you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you never take. So if you don't do it, you're definitely not going to get where you want to go. I think the other big thing that you mentioned was that as you're coming up on it, it's never what you think it's going to be. I mean, I think, Allie, you probably visualize something totally different. I know I did too. And that's the same with starting your business. It's not as bad. We make it way worse than it needs to be ever. And so I can guarantee you almost everything you've tried is probably not turned out half as bad as what you thought it would. But you got to do it. You got to try. And then once you're on the other side, like, I don't know, how many shows have we probably done, Fred, up until now? Probably 2-3 years worth, I'm sure. So I would lots and lots of shows. But when I first went live with Fred, I remember being absolutely petrified. And I was thinking, I'm going to mess this up. And guess what? I did mess up plenty of shows where Fred's like, really, Tessa, what are we doing right now? I have no idea, Fred. I don't know what's on the screen. So we're kind of transitioning to train Allie to come on and be a host for our Friday Live. And so I know that's going to be a little bit of a transition for you, but in that preparation, we're going to practice. We're going to keep going through everything. We're going to let her do test runs that aren't on Friday, so there's lots of things, like you said, Fred, you can do to make some transitions a little bit easier, but I'll still be seeing you guys around. Don't worry. Yes. But Allie's
still be seeing Tessa for sure, because we all love her.
But I'm doing the same thing.
Facebook Live in some type of way.
Right. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying something new, which is like my own side thing. And so I'm petrified of changing. And I think Fred's seen me doing this over the last couple of weeks. I'm like, I'm just going to kind of not fully leave, but I'm here. And that's my fear talking too. Like, I don't want to have to fully make the commitment. So I know all of you that are in our audience, some of you are partners with us. You're making that transition right now. Let us know in the chat if you feel that same. And it's not anticipation, but a little bit of anxiety over doing something that's new, because I'm so curious what your challenges are. But Fred, do you know, well, first of all, have you jumped out of a plane, Fred?
I unfortunately will be jumping out of a plane here in about a week.
Well, I just, I can't picture it. I think you're too structured, like that. It's a perfectly good plane. Why would I jump out of it? That's what I can hear coming out of Fred's mouth. That's
the other things that fear factor things that I've done, like race car driving and lots of scuba diving. That's different because you're in control. With skydiving, you got some guy behind you. You don't know if he just got out of prison. Or whether he's had a really bad week and he's pushing you out of the airplane. So that's a bit of a different feel. But
scuba diving is one of those that's on my list, and I have a huge fear of scuba diving because when I was doing a demonstration for the kids at my daycare, and I put on a scuba outfit that was too small and I got stuck. So I was seriously having claustrophobia. I couldn't get out of it. I was like starting to panic and I couldn't get out of the scuba outfit. So I am still to this day have not scuba dived because I am afraid to be constricted. And so that's one of the ones that is on my list. So I keep telling myself I've got to do it, and maybe do it in a tropical place where they don't require a scuba dive outfit.
No, and you've had a crazy experience scuba diving. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about it, but
yeah, I ran out of air 110 feet down.
Oh my gosh.
And from 110 feet down, it takes 2 minutes to get to the surface without getting the bends. So you have to go at a certain speed when you're going up. So that was my last breath of air was like sucking through a straw, and then I hit the reserve valve and it had malfunctioned. So I had zero air, really bad visibility. Person that was down there with me had disappeared. As it turns out, he'd already made his way up because he got scared. And so I was down there with no air in my lungs, and I needed 2 minutes to make it to the surface. So,
Oh my God.
obviously, I did make it. The last 10 feet, I went too fast, so ripped a lot of capillaries in my eyes, so my mask started filling up with blood when I came out. And
Oh my God.
I thought everything
Nightmare.
was fine until my friends saw me and freaked out. But yeah, I mean, things can happen. So hopefully I'll be more fortunate when I skydive.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have some people who, Robert, he said anxiety first, but he's excited and ready for something different. And life's about to change and adapting to it. And I know he's one of our partners as well. And then Vanessa says she was fearful about so many things. It took her 3 years to step out of her comfort zone and get started on her product, which Zwizzy, getzwizzy.com, is actually, she's buying her product right now. So she's seeing it come to life.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I know. So
Love
Zwizzy mitts.
Here already.
I love that
That's
product.
amazing.
So, and it's very timely, that
Yes.
product. But yeah, but the whole point is that, again, I've said it already here, but the physical side of fear and the mental side of fear, they're really the same thing. They all come from the mind, whether it's fear of jumping out of an airplane or it's fear of jumping into a new career. Those things are all triggered by our self-doubts, our inability to give ourselves the credit we deserve. Because when we're thinking about these things in the first place, you already know that you're an unusual person. You already know that you're going to do more, you're going to do better, you're going to try harder than most of the people around you. Because most people are just comfortable where they are in this. Just like, remember we saw the birds yesterday in that huge, gigantic cage, and I thought, well, this is nice. They're in such a big cage, and you thought they're in a cage.
Yeah, and big or small, they're in a cage, and they're meant to be in nature.
Right, and we end up in our comfort zones. It really is this gilded cage that we live in, knowing that we're going to be fed on time and that we have a protected place to sleep, and nobody can get to us when we have this job we've had for 10 years or 15 years. And when you want to step outside that box and open that cage and fly, it's really, really hard.
That's true.
But once you start flying, as you did, it's amazing.
Yeah, seeking discomfort. I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Fred. I know that we are always glad to have you on. And I do think that we have a couple, well, I wouldn't say that. I would say there's a definite changes happening, I know, at IdeaPros. So don't panic about anything. When you're in the midst of a change, then you can actually surround yourself with people who know how to do what you're doing. So if you're a partner, obviously you've surrounded yourself with the best because you have IdeaPros right there for you. If you are just taking the leap, you can get information like the blogs that we have on our website, or you can reach out to us and talk to our experts, or like Ali and I, we're going to partner up so that she's mentored and she knows how to do the things that she's going to be doing, and then somebody that's going to coach her through. So having a coach or someone that can be there for you, or just a support system, friends that can help give you the support or pick you up if you do fall. Because we have a couple shows that Fred's done about failure too. So you cannot really succeed without failing at some point, just in some way, shape, or form. You have to try. No one can just come out of the womb and start walking. They have to do a little bit of the falling, a little bit of the crawling, and then they can get up and start running.
Yeah. Yes. Walking first.
Well, yes, that too. Crawl, then walk, then run. But that's sometimes we want to do that in our business too. We want to run before we can walk. So it takes time.
And as you're saying, changes in IdeaPros, we're preparing to get much larger, to offer a whole bunch of services for literally, we've had in the last 2 years, 100,000 people have applied to work with us. And we have a few hundred partners that we're very fortunate to partner with. But there's a whole lot of other people that need some level of help. Everybody who applied to us fashions themselves to be an entrepreneur. And so we're releasing a lot of programs, a lot of automated systems, things from my video courses on entrepreneurship to validation packages to see whether your idea is a great idea or it's a shitty idea and what to do about it. and all along that food chain, so there's going to be something for everybody. And still to this day, we seem to be kind of the only company out there that's really trying to find comprehensive solutions for the average entrepreneur, not somebody that came out of Facebook or Uber that already has venture capital behind them, eager to start a new business. Most of us don't have that. And when we take that jump, think of us as like that person behind you on the it's holding on tight with you and helping make sure you get down safe. So we want to help as many people as we can. And those are some of the changes that we got coming forward.
And you can definitely check out those packages. I'm going to put the link in. There's the course. You can go ahead and go to that link. Hopefully it'll decide to distribute that link. I will put it in after just in case it didn't come through. But we have 2 options over on that page that are great. One that's actually the business development package that gets you started. So can you tell a little bit about that market research package, Fred?
Yeah, and this is a pretty good example of the value that we bring as a partner, because this package, this kind of validation package, basically does some of the same stuff that we do, except it doesn't have the analysis at the end of it to actually help guide you in what you're going to do. But basically, if you have an idea and you're just starting out and you want to know whether it's good, one thing that's probably going to happen is you're going to talk to your mom. She's going to think it's a great idea. You're going to talk to a bunch of your friends at the bar, and they're going to love it. And you're going to talk to random people who, if they don't run away from you, will say, yeah, that's good. But the reality is that's not how you figure out if an idea is good or not. And so what we do for people is complete market analysis, from competitive landscape to the size of the market, the growth of the market opportunities, who your customers should be and how to go get them. And also take all that data, all that information, and help you create a pitch deck so you can go out and raise the money that you need to go to your next step, your third or fourth or 10th step. And that package is about $1,000. The value for people who are our partners, the value of that working with us is closer to $10,000, because it's the same thing as an X-ray, right? If you have a problem like your wrist.
Oh, yeah. That did not happen while she was jumping, folks.
Rollerblading, she did that one with a few weeks ago. Somebody just gives her the X-ray and says, go read it. That X-ray costs X number of dollars, but her reading it and knowing what to do about it is a long shot. The same thing with these reports. The fact that as your partner, we'll take them and we'll help formulate your strategy going forward. That's where the real value is, just like the doctor interpreting her X-ray and saying, this is what we're going to do. You're going to wear that silly cast for 5 weeks. Actually, they wanted to put a bigger one on.
Yeah, they wanted to put a real cast, and I convinced him to have an air cast, but I cannot take it off. So same thing.
Yeah. So in any event, that whole get the X-ray only is around $1,000, but it really will help anybody decide whether they should go forward or how they should go forward, and give them enough intelligence to be able to answer potential investor questions. Yeah. And then my video courses, really teach you about life and entrepreneurship, and those things are a couple $100. So definitely good programs to get started with.
Yes. And that link has both of those on there. And then you can also combine them together and save even more. So you guys can go check it out. Or if you know someone who's thinking about taking that leap in, this is a great way for them to start. Well, thank you so much. And
or if you have a kid in college.
Yeah. Kids in, I mean, this
was
is,
in
I love this course. Of course, I was knee deep in helping to create it. And so I do know, intimately know all of these videos and all of the pieces. It's a really fun gaming platform for that, for the course as well. It gives you points, and you, as you do your homework, you're getting more and more experience points. So it's fun. And that's not usual for courses. So awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And Ali, I'm so excited you're back and safe and that you enjoyed yourself and that you took the leap, and congratulations. And you're going to see more of Ali on the shows with us on Fridays. And then Fred, thank you so much for coming on today. And guys, we will have Ask Fred again soon. So in the post, you will see the link to go submit questions. So you can submit them anytime. If you're thinking, if you have a question after this one, you want to submit a question. He's great about answering on the fly because he's good at doing the live question and answer session. So you can always submit a question to us, and we'll be happy to get those answered for you. All right. Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. So you can, let's see. There we go. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, you can click the bell and hit to get a reminder, or you can click the link in our post and get reminders sent to your phone and texts. If you ended up on this show, obviously you guys are super fans. We love having you here. And I'm just going to take a quick second to look at the chats. Hey, Odin, good to have you. Sean Reed with Sage Scheduler. I know you posted. I'm trying to find the comment right now. We have Chris Coolin, nice to have you. Martin, Donna, Vanessa, love having you guys here. Stephanie, who's live in Canada. Let's see. Oh yeah, teamwork is so important, Sean. Good point. And Stephanie says she would not jump at all. Mary, great to have you. And Magic, thank you for my art. You said that you really liked the art that I have in the background. Thank you. I love the painted canvas with gold on it. It's so beautiful. I'm going to try to do resin painting soon here. Vanessa, again, love having you here. And you said we all must step out of our comfort zone. That's awesome. And I know, Robert, you were talking about the anxiety that we feel when we're trying something new, and that you were really excited about change and adapting to it. Judith, great to have you here. Judith is one of the team members at IdeaPros, and she works so hard to make sure that everything's being answered on our social media channels. And I see you over there, Dr. Clarice. Oh, there's Sage Scheduler. Kelly put it in for me. And I think we have a couple new people. I can't see your name, so thank you for coming. I think I got everybody. I believe I did. And yep, I did. Okay, well then, guys, we're here on Fridays at noon Pacific time. That won't change. IdeaPros will be here for you on those Fridays at noon Pacific time. I'm going to send you guys the link. If it didn't show up, I'm going to put the validation trio in there again, and we'll see you guys all next week. Have a blessed week.